Hello, friends. Chris Corsi here, president of Thrive Today, and I want to welcome you to the Relational Skills in Real Life podcast. Today's topic is one that's a bit vulnerable for me to share, but you know what? I feel like this is a really good example of why we need trained minds who can speak into our lives. Friends, I'm going to share a bit of a failure that Jen and I had recently where we had a family friend visiting, and this family friend is often someone that we look to for guidance, and we invite this person to speak into our lives and how we parent our children, just any gaps that is seen in Jen and I, in our marriage, our family. We just ask for feedback, because you know what, we might have some blind spots that need to be addressed. And so on this recent visit with our friend, we invited the friend to share, hey, what do you see that we need to be working on? And this friend just very bluntly laid out some of what he was seeing in our family, particularly in some things that were missing in our parenting as it related to our children's maturity. And friends, this was such a mixture of joy, relief, and shame. Because when we received this feedback, my first reaction was shame. Like, what? How could we have this blind spot? You know, we train relational skills. I do maturity retreats. How could I miss this issue in our family? And so my immediate response was shame. I wanted to hide. I could feel my face was flush. I could feel my breathing was shallow. It was not fun. And so it took some time to just feel those feelings, be able to share these feelings and quiet these feelings as we discuss some of these things. But in the same breath, I also felt relief because we now had words to some of what we were bumping into as a family. Like, I knew we're missing something, but I'm not quite sure what it was. But I knew that we're missing something. And so honestly, to have someone who cares about us be able to speak into our lives, that was a gift. In fact, that was probably one of the best gifts that someone could have given our family. It was the gift of being able to share some feedback and some observations. You know what? Even though it brought some shame, it brought great relief because now I understood the iceberg that we're running into as a family. And now I feel like I know what I can be doing to fill that gap and to strengthen some of those weaknesses. So this ended up being a great blessing. So thankfully, I've been practicing return to joy skills for a number of years. So while I felt some genuine low energy shame that did not feel fun or pleasant, my brain knew how to return to joy from that. So I was able to get back to joy and shalom and peace from that. And but it was very interesting because the next morning I woke up early, like 3 a.m., and my mind, my left hemisphere is how we would say it in Thrive language. My mind started racing with thinking about times in my life where I'd failed and I felt like I failed. And so my mind was having these thoughts like, oh, you're such a failure. What are you doing? How could you miss this? Just all kinds of kind of condemnation, not really helpful. So I knew, you know what, I'm going to get up and I'm going to spend some time with Jesus and I'm going to get my peace back. So I got up, made a cup of coffee, and spent some time journaling and just spent some time with the Lord. And I got relational with Jesus. And then I said, Lord, what do you want me to know here? Where are you in all of this? And I had this beautiful Emmanuel moment, this beautiful time interacting with Jesus. I had a sense of his presence, I had a sense of his compassion. And friends, this little bit of Emmanuel time brought me immense relief and joy and peace. And what I realized is I had some unprocessed pain that I was bumping into here. So even though my right hemisphere, the right brain skills kicked in and I was able to return to joy, my left hemisphere, which is our analytical cognitive engine, I had some triggered stuff going on. And so my left hemisphere was just trying to deal with that in a most unhelpful way. So whenever you feel condemnation or you lose your peace, this is always an opportunity for God's peace. So I, after spending some time, some quiet time with the Lord, I felt really excited, right? I felt like I got a rock out of my shoe that was causing me some problems. But more importantly, I had a sense of Jesus just being with me and Jen and our family in this season where we have a bit of work to do, but it was actually a very positive experience. And so I share this because the gold that was given to us was from someone that we trust, that we invite them to speak into our lives, right? We have people in our lives that we ask and we invite them to speak into our lives, right? So we say, please, if you see something, tell us. If there's something going on, or you see that we're missing something in our parenting or our marriage, please tell us, or our ministry for that matter. And so, what a gift it is to have trained minds who can speak into our lives. And friends, this is really what I want to leave you with today, that the good news is when you have blind spots, there are people that can help you recognize those blind spots. And there are people that can speak into your life if you allow it. Now, one of the great hindrances of having this trained mind speak into our life is, friends, frankly, we don't return to joy from shame. If I hadn't returned to joy from shame and been practicing my return to joy skills, then that could have been devastating, right? That could have been even traumatic. And so a lot of us resist having input, even input that we don't agree with, into our lives because we're afraid of shame. We're afraid that we're going to feel some shame or feel misunderstood. Then we're not going to get back to joy and peace. And let's face it, it hurts when you don't feel seen, heard, and understood. So there's often really good reasons why we feel this way. But I'm here to say that my life and my family is much better because we have people in our lives who've been able to speak into our lives and challenge us and encourage us and pray for us and pray with us and even give us some hard feedback. And I actually would say this is how I've been able to stay successful in ministry for going on 30 years, all because I've had people that can speak into my life and help me recognize blind spots. So the reality today is you do have blind spots. You have blind spots in your character. You have blind spots in your relationships, in your family. And if you're married, in your marriage, there's all kinds of little blind spots that can become big blind spots if we don't deal with those things. So I hope this inspires you to pray about and invite the Lord to bring to mind people that you feel could be helpful recipients of God's goodness to speak into your life, to encourage you, but also to help you recognize those areas that need some help and some support. And shame doesn't kill us, right? Shame doesn't actually have to last for very long. When we can recognize what we need, practice some self-care, we can quiet, we can get relational and interact with Jesus. We can have people we trust pray with us, and we can work on our return to joy skills. And I'm really excited about 2025 because we have a lot of new resources for our emotions coming out. In fact, we just did some things with emotions that you can find on our website, but we have great resources to help you learn to return to joy from your big feelings. And may this be the start of something good for you, friends, as you reflect on who those people might be that you can invite to speak into your life. You can review relational skills at our website, thrivetoday.org. Find those emotions resources and stay tuned for some of the new Return to Joy resources that's coming in the new year.